Hey everyone, hopefully you're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel is Finding Value. Today we're going to we'll do our precious metals daily technical analysis update. We'll go over the dollar, 10-year yield, we'll go over CRB index, and then the precious metals and some of the companies. Give you guys a little bit different outlook on what's coming in the precious metals area. So let's dive in. I'll give you my financial opinion. We got the dollar here. The dollar is strengthening today in the short term, the indexes at least, not saying overall or absolute, but the indexes strengthened some. And we also have a 10-year yield that looks like it wants to go higher. This is a bullish engulfing. It looks like it wants to go higher. It's been scribing out a bullish pattern here in terms of a positive. It's got a lot more momentum upward than it is downward. So I think this will continue higher. I think what it's saying is that we could potentially see oil go higher because the 10-year yield and oil are closely linked together. The CRB index moving higher today. We've broken the downtrend line. It looks like we want to go on higher. I think it's highly correlated to oil, the index itself. And things are starting to turn around a little bit. Now, precious metals with the higher dollar and higher yield, that resulted in weaker gold. So we are continuing to pull back in gold, and that is heading lower. Silver also heading to lower today. It has broken out of its short-term downtrend line. That's the good thing, but we're down today. And platinum's still getting a little bit of selling pressure today. Platinum heading a little bit lower. If we were to throw a downtrend line on this, we tried breaking out and closing, where we could potentially fall back down below. We'll see what the next couple of trading days has in store for us if we can hold this downtrend line above it or not. XAU to gold ratio, we are still in this downtrend, on this downtrend line, heading a little bit lower, which meaning that the gold and silver mining companies are still selling off some. We have not broken the long-term downtrend line in the XAU to gold ratio, which means that the gold and silver miners haven't broken out of its downtrend yet against gold. Karora Resources, looking at some of the companies themselves, still in a downtrend, still looking quite bearish in the short term. EXK, we had a nice, good, strong start today, but we had some selling pressure throughout the day. We could head a little bit lower, especially with gold and silver pulling back. Fortuna Silver Mines heading a little bit lower. We still don't have that drive underneath us to drive us higher yet, and the precious metals have still continued to pull back. SILJ, again, heading lower. We still haven't broken this downtrend line. We have a bearish engulfing, and we're right on support. Interesting setup there, where we could potentially head lower. GDX selling off today. Again, we have not broken the downtrend line. Lots of downside momentum, and a bearish engulfing, which means we could head lower. Looking at some of the small guys, Metallic Minerals, small silver exploration company. That's heading higher in the short term as of right now, but it's basically been just chopping sideways overall. Koya Silver, another small silver exploration play, was breaking out back here, but we are in a downtrend. Silver is not helping it in terms of the price of silver. Discovery Silver still pulling down. It is selling off. We've broken through our support line. We could head lower here. We could do a retest up and then a move lower. First Majestic Silver chopping sideways. Again, still lots of downside momentum. I do not see a clear indication of a turn yet. Newmont, NEM. Let's load Newmont. Newmont selling off today. Again, lots of downside pressure. The price of gold also not helping it out. And we're breaking through this support zone right now to the downside, which means we could see further downside in Newmont. Mag Silver. Mag Silver selling down. It's broken to the downside. We're trying to get back in this pattern, and we are failing to do so. We got some wicks at the top with that resistance there. Yamana Gold, AUY, still selling pressure today. We could head lower. It's just following and amplifying the move of whatever gold's doing. Looking at Sandstorm Gold, kind of skipping ahead here to the royalty company. Sandstorm Gold heading a little bit lower. Again, we're getting a lot of selling pressure through here. We've had a very large pullback already, but it looks like we've still got more selling pressure across the board. Franco-Nevada, FNV. So looking at Franco-Nevada, still more selling pressure. It's not really as expected with gold going lower. These are just amplified moves of gold and silver. So it's heading lower there. EMX, still chopping sideways. Wheat and precious metals heading lower. With gold selling lower today, we're starting to see some more selling pressure in the royalty companies. We could see a further definitely a further pullback in all of these with these strong down candlesticks today. Skipping over some of these really small ones. MTA, Metallo Royalty heading lower, just like with gold. We've got Mavericks Metals heading lower with the price of gold on that guy in the short term. Royal Gold heading lower. And I don't see any, some of these patterns have broken to the downside, guys. So, we're right on support here, and it looks like it's breaking to the downside with some strong selling pressure. We'll have to see if we have any support here. A Cisco Gold Royalty selling off. It's right at support. We'll see if that big long-term support line holds. And then Altius Minerals heading a little bit lower today. That looks like it's trying to put in some support. But overall, guys, a little bit of selling pressure today in gold and silver and in platinum. So we could see a further pullback. What is causing this? There could be some slowdown in inflation, the perceived inflation. So the M2 money supply, we'll pull it up right now. It's the M2. Where I'm going is long-term trends. And if we go to the M2 money supply and inflation, we are seeing weakness in the M2 money supply drive down here in the black. And that's that black line there. You can see it coming on down here in the black, and the red's going in the opposite direction. The red line is delayed and it has an impact. Oil and natural gas have an impact on that inflation rate and the way it's calculated. Usually when people talk about the M2 money supply, as this thing goes down, usually you see in about an 18-month lag or so, the inflation rate kind of follow. The difference here is the red line is calculated using the consumer price index. The consumer price index is highly correlated to the price of energy inputs. So you can have money in the system slow down, that addition to the system slow down like we're seeing, but still have the red line go up if you have a problem or constraints in your energy delivery system. So that is possible. Now, we haven't had that type of restraint in history really before. We had it in 1970 where we hit a restraint and we kind of went up in inflation, but that was also driven by the M2 money supply. So we'll see what happens here. But that could be one of the things that it's sniffing out is a lower rate of inflation. And that's why it's pulling on back. So that's what I've got there, guys. And right now, we're still getting selling pressure. One of the spots that I'm still looking at is physical platinum. That's the spot that I like. The ratios are all good. It's a very cheap metal, and it could remain cheap for a while. But I'm looking at this from a long-term perspective, and I accumulate over time the metals when they get down to really low levels like they are today. So that's what I've got for today, guys. If you guys are interested in subscribing to the Platinum membership and learning about this stuff, definitely click the link below, become a Platinum member. And I've got a whole bunch of financial education and stock, technical analysis, a whole bunch of different things on the website. It also summarizes and is a spot to organize everything on my YouTube channel, basically. So I've got stuff posted on there of technical analysis, question and answer sessions, all sorts of stuff on there, so you guys can look at old question and answer sessions and whatnot. If you guys like the content, give me a thumb up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And we'll catch you next time. This is Finding Value.